Welcome to Coach Coyote's podcast. Standing up behind the microphone is the coach, Coach Coyote. Alrighty, Coach. Today's edition with Coach Coyote, who just found out, is NFL should adopt some CFL rules. Well, once again, folks, we, that being B Buddy and I, did not tell Coach Coyote what the topic is ahead of the program. CEO B Bunny wants Coach Coyote to be not prepared. CEO B Bunny was looking for a purist of the rules, but can adopt to new rules. Coach Coyote's professional career started off as a player, and then a player coach, then head coach. When his playing days were over, he did head coach, and then finally a general manager. Since Coach Coyote is well aware of both sides of playing the game and managing the game, CEO B Bunny thought it was a perfect fit for a topic on Coach Coyote's NFL podcast. With no further ado, Coach, we'll start the topic of NFL should adopt some CFL rules. Let's start with the playing field. Well, Coach, I'm going to say it nicely. The playing field and the current situation in the NFL, the field is too small for these current professionals. But rest assured, Coach, no discussion about increasing the length of the field because it's just not going to be able to be possible with the vast majority of current NFL stadiums. But as far as the width of the field, I would like to see at least 5 yards added. So that's only 2.5 yards per side, but preferably 10 yards wider if it's possible. The CFL has a larger dimension, a field dimension, for width, length, and larger end zones. But they started off with a bigger field, so the infrastructure is already there. And that's the reason, Coach, I'm not proposing the length of the field be a lot longer, because that I know that the extra 10 yards is just not going to happen. I'd rather add that. Okay, this is where I would rather add that 10 yards if it was possible. The end zones. The end zone should be 5 yards deeper. There should be a 15-yard end zone. But, Coach, I understand it's not going to happen. I'm not even going to try to persuade anyone on that one. I'm trying to add the extra 5 yards per end zone. You'd have to lose seats in the end zone. And an extra 5 yards worth of seats, it would bring excitement to the game for when it's like if first and goal from the 10. That gives an extra 5 yards for the receiver to catch the ball. Coach, I understand completely. There's no extra room for that extra 5 yards to be added. So, but it's just one of those deals in life. Hindsight is 20/20. When the oldest stadium, in the NFL, which is now going to be the Green Bay Packers home field, like when it was being built, it was Coach, it was just too bad that they didn't have 15-yard end zones and 10 yards wider. Yeah, like when you started back in the day and you were a player, and if the field was 15 yards wider, if the field was 10 yards wider, 5 yards per side, and 15-yard end zones, even increasing it by 10 extra yards the length of the field, it wouldn't be a big deal. Wouldn't even hardly notice. It would still be small. Small. Some dimensions would probably be smaller than a CFL football field. But it's like the field seemed big enough at its time, which I understand completely. But today's NFL athletes are much faster, and it's just and that's more about defense actually, because you can help the defense defend. Defend an extra 10 yards. That would help the defense, helping with the field goal. So there is some help for the defense on a longer field, obviously. But, that's the whole point is it's about competition and, people, well, I'm going to say this theme a lot, Coach, is that One of the big reasons that people watch NFL football is live, and especially to go to the stadium, is to see the long ball catch. Listen, I'm going to be repeating that theme a few times, Coach, over this because Coach, let's admit it. A lot of players. Oh, we should put some lights on. Oh, Coach, I didn't realize we need some studio lights. It's getting dark already. Okay, or is it just? Oh, it's just me blocking the light. Oh, but all right, I'll turn on the light. So, okay, so when I block it now, okay, so we're not blocking the light. Okay, I didn't realize it was getting darker. We got lots. We got a few more lights up, if we need to. But I think the overhead light's good enough for now. I didn't realize I was blocking the light on the studio. Okay, so, well, Coach, I don't want to start over either, Coach. It's I know. For you, it's, you don't want to be standing up longer too. Okay, so we get into like if you would have started your career, Coach, with the field being a wider dimension, longer, and and eventually the field goal post would have been 50. You see, even today's NFL, the 15-yard field goal post would have been better. That's an extra 5 yards that they have to go. Like like a 55-yarder is like it's going to be have to be closer in. When you because we're yeah, it's just that it probably would make teams really think of what to do on that fourth down more often if it's 4th and 7, and if they go for a field goal, it's now still it's 65 yards. But it would have been, back in the other days, it would have been 55 yards. So yeah, there is advantages. There's a lot of advantages for the fields to be longer, both defense and offense. It all works out. The teams adapt, Coach. That's why we mentioned for you that you adapted over the years rules. Lots of rule changes in your day. Every year you can remember, Coach, that there's new rules. And as a player, you first, and then as a coach, as a player coach, and then you became the head coach, and of course the manager. So that, you were into the Plush Toy Football League competition committee meetings a lot. You chaired at the end. So that's why we're like. Perfect topic for you, Coach. I know right now you got the look of like, okay, you sprung this on me when I came on the show, and I said yes, that's the whole point of the show. I know. Later on, when we do some more podcasts, Coach, it depends on what NFL topic we're gonna do, and we'll we won't spring it on. We'll get you prepared if we want. If it's not something that like we need some fun to have some controversy with, and just give Coach that look of I don't know what's going on, and I don't know if I'd like it. Before you get on the studio, you're thinking, and then you get on the studio, you see NFL should adopt some CFL rules, and now it's like, all right, okay, talk to me. I was on the competition committee of the PTFL, the Plush Toy Football League, so. Yeah, that's why we're satisfied to bring this up to you. Now, let's Coach. This one's going to be a topic that it's going to be dynamic and changing. Okay, now alrighty, Coach. We'll just get to our next point, and let's start with the completing a reception in the NFL. For a reception concerning the inbounds rule to complete the catch. As it stands now, the NFL rule is, I'm not saying the NFL rule verbatim, but if I remember, like both the receiver's feet must be inbounds to complete a catch. And I'm not reading it from the rule book, I'm just like saying my interpretation. Commonly, like everyone knows that it's 2 feet inbounds. Well, Coach, I'm going to try to persuade you with 1 foot in bounds. The CFL has 1 foot in bounds rule to complete a reception. Now, well, Coach, on Sports News Review, as you know because you watch him, is we do the Hamilton Tiger Cats live stream watch party. Well, you listen to the Munchie Brothers, and then you, as you're watching the game, listening to the, like, what I want everybody to do is, like you do, Coach. You listen to the the play by play and the commentary from the television set, and you put us on your put Sports News Review on your secondary device, and listen in on the, or you could just hear us. You can hear us from your room. You can hear the Munchie Brothers talking away on the studio, and while I do the live stream watch party. So, but the point being is, Coach, is that while we're watching this game and we're seeing a reception, and you only need 1 foot in the CFL, and that's really increases the chances of a complete reception. Now, especially if it's a long ball pass, which in NFL terms equals more excitement if they did it. Now, Coach, if they did that, okay, I'm just going to say, I'm all excited, Coach. I went off script for a second. Now, I'm going to go back on and say, I know there are a lot of folks out there that would like to be sitting with Coach Coyote watching football. And, of course, they're going to be all ears listening to your philosophy on gridline football. But, Coach, once again, as for rule changes, it's not for the purists. It's about bringing more eyeballs to watch the game and bringing more excitement and keep people interested in watching the game. Now, so far, these rule changes have all been just mostly excitement. So, well, here's the thing, Coach. Folks really come to live games to watch the long ball pass. Now, there is no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Folks generally want to see the long ball reception. And once again, if the NFL adopted the 1 foot inbounds rule for a completed catch, remember they could just say that it's college too. They don't have to. You don't have to say CFL, but college too. The excitement level would be through the Astrodome, Coach. I mean, come on, let's face it. You have your purists on the rule, and they claim that the NFL is making it harder in the defense. Coach, let's be honest. Once again, rule changes are not made for coaches and players. Rule changes are made for the fans, the casual fan and the new fans, to keep the excitement, to keep them wanting to see the game and become a full-time fan. So, well, there have been many rule changes in the NFL as a whole. I mean, when you first started, the PTFL, you adopted to the NFL rules, and that's what I mean. They changed a lot of rules, and your PTFL rule, you were the first ones to start with the no head slapping on the helmets, and so it's. When they used to be able to, a defender used to be able to slap the side of the helmet of a offensive guard. Now the PTFL was not in before the NFL, so stopped it. So there you go. There's so many other rule changes there's a few other PTFL tried out, because when a minor league tries out the rules, that's when the I'm block. It's block, Coach. I'm gonna hit pause. I didn't realize you're blocking your own playing card from back when you were the player coach for the Texas expansion team. Alrighty, Coach. We just asked Coach to move over a little bit, just so he doesn't block his playing card. Okay, so. Now, as I said earlier, Coach, is that there have been many rule changes, and the NFL as a whole would love always feel that like we're moving ahead, and rule changes will increase excitement. That's what I'm saying. That the NFL would be like, rule changes help increase excitement. Um, they're well aware of the professionalism of the coaches and general managers to be able to adopt to new rules. Okay, so yeah, I mean, like, coach, like, I don't know what kind of NFL would be if it never changed rules ever since the 1940s. It's just not going to happen, coach. I mean, there's just no way. It's just they don't. It's they have to change the rules. There's just every decade was a lot of probably new rule changes. I didn't look it all up. I mean, we're not doing an essay, so I didn't. Coach, you know that we don't have a really good staff that could write a script about, like, looking up the history and almost reading an essay to you. We don't have. We just with my life, as I say, coach, and your personal private life. I mean, that's another advantage too, coach. As far as taking up your personal time in life to come on the studio, is you don't have to, look up all this information because you don't have to be prepared. We don't want you to be prepared. It just makes it easier for you, and that way you could just come on the studio and just give it a thought and just say sure. I don't see the harm in looking into these kind of rule changes, or you could just say no. It's just too it's just too much right now to make a change, but that drastic. And say the 5 yards extra per end zone. That would the cost of that would just be the carpet, as you say, putting a new carpet in, or maybe just. Oh no, actually, I think they paint the carpet. They could paint the carpet. So yeah, they could paint the carpet green where it was white, if they don't want to replace the turf, and then just 5 yards each side. And what the running game and the passing game would be like more exciting to watch. And let's see now. Let's see. I know you. Like I said, you got your purists, and they're gonna say like you're making it easier on the offense, and on the defense you're making it harder. And I'm like, I don't want to say that I want to make it harder for the defense, because that's not what the goal is. It may seem like that, but it's about bringing excitement. It's kind of like trying to find a way that you can't score in hockey, like in the NHL hockey, and say they're allowed to, like they used to, be able to, clutch and grab players, and the clutching mean that they just hold them for a few seconds so they can't go skate for a pass. So like I can't, like, if defense were allowed to just just give a nice hug to the offensive player and near the net, and just hug them, and like, where's this game gonna go? And the like they go see. Hockey fans go see goals, players, and that's the reality, okay? And then when it comes to football, once again, fans just want to see touchdowns and long ball passes. Let's get realistic. Not every fan out there is going to go, oh, I want to see a defensive play. Yes, when their team is on the field, on defense, they'd like to see a defensive play. But the casual fan that's watching on television, just wants to see a game, and whatever happens, happens. If it's a good defensive play, they like it. But if you make it possible for bigger plays, the excitement's there. Like as I said, the inbound rules for 1 foot, and we could. We don't have the staff to run through the stats, and maybe it could be on a Google. Maybe someone has already put that in, like all that information in the computer, and tried to figure out where, like how the game, like how many times if it would have been 1 foot rule, that would have just been a first down, and it would have it would. I can't help being so adamant about it. Like 1 foot rule, they should really look into this one, Coach. It's not a. This one is not like the other ones where you have to worry about like how will you apply, how will you add yards to the field. How can you 5 yards per end zone and you want 10. I mean 5 yards per side, even 2.5 yards. 2.5 yards per side seems very feasible, and if that increases passing percentage by even 5%, that's excitement. Excitement. The whole point of the game is it's a game that people want to see that brings excitement, such as receptions, and especially the long ball reception, as I used to call it when we were very young, the long bomb, throwing a long bomb. I don't know if I don't know if that's a. Is that more of a Canadian thing, saying the long bomb? I can't remember. I guess even the American kids would have said that back in the day, throwing a long bomb. I can imagine it's universal. Okay, so yeah, I mean, like, I'm looking at the script here, and I'm just looking like, oh yeah, like the other thing too about the long pass too is like if you can increase the long passing with the 1 foot rule and all is, Coach. I got it on the script here is because I went off script just now. Is I'm looking at the script now, Coach, and it says about a youth being a youth and playing in the backyard or a field, and it's just a quick pickup game of six people or seven, make it you need. It's nicer to be an odd number where one's a quarterback, three receivers, and three defenders, and we're not keeping score now. We're just having fun. And what is the first thing all the kids want to do when they're passing? Is that, oh boy, like whippy do, you caught a 10-yard pass. That's not what. It's the long bomb. The long bomb. Whoever's playing quarterback wants to throw the long bomb. Who's ever a receiver going, I want to catch the long bomb. Like we used to say, the fly. Like, I just want to go on a fly. Throw it downfield as far as you can. I'll try to run up to it now. So that's the kind of play that as we get older in life, we it's in our conscience, Coach. Is that the long bomb, and the long ball throw. It's in our conscience, mind. It brings us back to a time when we were youthful. Like, hey, let the long ball pass. I'm not. I'm gonna say once again. It's just the 1 foot in bounds versus 2 feet in bounds. 2 feet in bounds. I cannot stress how I want it to be the 1 foot in bounds. Okay, but we'll go to another topic because it's running into 24 minutes. We can make this a nice quick video instead of those 1 hour and a half long videos, Coach. But the next one I want to touch is something to do with a little bit of more safety, and that's the 1 yard off the ball rule for defense. defense must be 1 yard back. I I think that's the best rule they can enforce. Is it's okay now. I'm not prepared. I just know from watching. Okay, and I'm not gonna. I didn't like. I don't, coach. As you know, we don't have a staff that we could just had this all prepared for us. As in, like, like everything, like the history of the 1 yard back from the ball, and why the NFL went straight head to head, and like I didn't look all that up, but I just know that the CFL has 1 yard off. The defense has to be a yard back from the ball at scrimmage. Now, of course, with the CFL being 3 downs, I'm not going to bring up 3 downs versus 4 downs on this episode, Coach. That one's a little too much. It's Coach. If I brought up the 3rd down versus the 4th down, Coach is like, I watch CFL. I like CFL, but that's the CFL, and I just It's like you could say, if you guys want to look into it, sure. But I'm walking off the set, and I understand why the coach could walk this, because it's just not going to happen. They're not going to do it, so there's no point even discussing it. But as far as, like coach is saying, as far as the inbounds rule, 1 foot, yeah, that's definitely can be looked into. 1 yard off the ball, like CFL does for defense. Yeah, that could be looked into. Coach is like, yeah, that could be looked into that too. 5 yards wider, even two. That coach is like, well, yeah, I guess you could look into that, if even making it 5 yards per side wider. If it's possible that every stadium can accommodate that, sure, why not try it? But when it comes to this one, this one is more of a safety of discussing 1 yard off the ball for the defense. It gives there's so much advantage to it, Coach, because it gives the offensive. My opinion. Remember, I could have looked this up and seen some, like, pros and cons, and I understand. I didn't look up the pros and cons. I could have done that, but then again, I came back from shopping. I came back from helping one other person. I was invited in, Coach. But then it's like, you know what? I said, I'll come back later. Give me a call, and I might come by. If you want me to come by later, give me a call. And because I didn't want to say it, but I almost said it. I almost said, because I want to do our show today, our Coach Coyote's podcast. So, and then you come here, and then, Coach, and I have to set up the studio again. And Coach, the only thing that was lucky is, once again, is that yesterday I did the marquee board where it says Coach Coyote's podcast. I know what I want. I kind of had a feeling how to center you. I don't even have to use the measuring tape anymore. I did measure it, Coach, and it was like, oh my gosh, 2 inches. I didn't even try, but I just, because that's 5 inches wide. That's why I'm using standard imperial measurements, Coach. And I know I'm in Canada. I can use the metric system and not worry about it and go, no. Not have any. I don't have any weird qualms about these the metric system, but the board is 5 inches wide, so it's like 2 inches. And I didn't measure this one either. And I did this one yesterday also, where it says NFL should adopt some CFL rules on that board. And that took, I don't know. I had to get the letters out, and that took a while too. That took like 20. It's hard to believe, Coach, that took 20 minutes. And see, that's 20 minutes, and that was like 15 minutes. Coach Coyote's podcast. It's crazy how it takes long to do these boards. I don't even understand. I try my fastest, but so that if that was 15, just say, roughly, I get a guarantee it was at least 15, and that was at least 15 minutes to get it all straightened out. That's half an hour. I couldn't do. I had to stop the doing the script, which I pretty well ran out. The script's over. I don't have anything left on that script to look at. I just know that I didn't even put the yard off the ball for the defense. I just thought of it now, going, well, yeah, there's the yard off the ball I should add too, in case I don't have. In case some people say that wasn't enough to add. Okay, so there's 1 yard for the defense rule. Now, like I was saying earlier, or I was trying to say earlier, because it's all off script, was I didn't look into the pros and cons, but my guess is that offensive players have a little bit, a time to get up and get into this position to block a pass or a running play, or be able to set up the running play fast. Being able to set up a running. I mean, what the offensive coordinators or whoever and others that make plays. They could really work with that. Really work with that, where they can, set up a running play a lot faster. And one of the things is, Coach, it could speed up the game for a lot less penalties, especially players lining up, as the defense is, lining up in the neutral zone. You got the 1 yard off the ball, and the referee will usually point where depending. Sometimes the referees will stand 1 yard away from, and and the players don't have to worry about neutral zone infraction because of the head to head. It's a lot faster to do that 1 yard. And once again, Coach, is the fourth and very short. Okay, like we're saying, fourth and less than a yard, less is fourth in inches. No more need for the tushy pushy. You could just. It's just a matter. Sometimes in the CFL, they're not always successful at even though they got the. They could do a plunge and you got the 1 yard off the ball. Now, it's not guaranteed, but you don't need to do the tush push, because you're not trying to get more than what's recommended, Coach. I mean, like if you only need like a couple of inches, I mean, getting the quarterback, second string quarterback to come on, or third string quarterback to come on, because they can handle the snap, and just plunge forward, and they don't need to be tush pushing for that yard anymore, because all they need is a couple of half less than a foot, or a foot more, not more than a yard, and it's an easy one. It's going to be easy that you won't even see the tush. They can keep the tush push rule in there, but the coaches and players and the coordinators be like, well, I guess we don't really need to do the tush push. If it's if we're finding that it's very successful, that it's fourth and half a yard, and we're just plunge. Here comes the third string quarterback running on the field, and he just plunges forward and gets his first down, and he goes off, gets a high five from the team, gets back on the sideline, and the regular starting quarterback comes on, because you don't want for these you don't need your star quarterback to get hurt in these scenarios. And of course it comes down to the touchdown. A lot of folks that never seen 1 yard rule, well, they could be like, "Yeah, it's just not fair for the defense. Don't have a chance and all that." When it's like third and goal from the half yard, less than half a yard, it's third and goal, and they still have to be a yard off the ball, so they're in the end zone. So it's like, you know what, Coach? As a team, defense. I don't mean to be harsh on the defense. I've been picking. It looks like I've been picking on defense the whole episode of this Coach Coyote's podcast here. But what I'm trying to say, Coach, is that it speeds up the game by just you give them the touchdown quicker. Because, Coach, as a team, if you allow them to get to the 1 yard line, that's like, what do you like? What you expect now? You expect extra help? No, too bad. You let them get this far. Like, if you stop them on a 3rd and goal and less than a half-yard, you stop them again on 3rd and goal, less than half a yard. That's kudos to the defense. But it's a lot of, but if it's going to speed up the game. Speed up the game is the whole point of everything I've been saying. And I think it's a lot of player safety that could be involved in 1 yard off the ball. And we got into the whole neutral zone, and there's going to be a lot less. No, now, Coach, I'm not talking about for. Now, I know what you know. I know you know what I mean by this neutral zone infraction in the NFL. If they to decrease that is not so much where the player is like their hand is like where the face is right in their zone. Like, I think the refs will, like, if they're like leaning over, defenders leaning over, their feet are 1 yard off the ball, but they're leaning over. Now, as the rule stands in the NFL, you could probably get caught for a neutral zone infraction. But if you're 1 yard off the ball, and your feet are 1 yard off the ball, both feet, don't pass that 1 yard, and you're leaning over, just a natural pose of leaning over, they're not going to call neutral zone infractions. No way. I'd be like, come on, this game is taking too long as it is, and just speed up the game. So that'll speed up the game. Speeding up the game is, Coach, I know, like, when I know you guys were in your own world when you were the coach, or you're playing. You're in your own world. It's kind of like when I'm doing it's not the same, but the feeling of the time on the clock and the time, what it is, like the actual time, daytime, like what it is. Like, say it started at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the game, and it's 4 o'clock already, and it's fourth quarter, and there's 10 minutes left. When I'm doing a live stream watch party, and as Buffalo Bills is a 1 o'clock game, I don't even notice the 4 o'clock is creeping up, and it's 4 o'clock, and and I don't even think about, where has all the time gone? But because I'm in my own world of trying to keep up with what's going on in the field. And as a coach, and you remember as a coach, that you're on the field and you're not, like, you don't, the what's on your watch, what time of day it is, has no bearing in the game. So you don't even think about that. But money rules the game, and it's, like, you're gonna, like, okay, now when I'm not live streaming, doing a live stream watch party for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, or a live stream watch party for the Buffalo Bills, I start to notice the time of the day and going, wow, this game's taking too long for, not me. I'm not the one that's bothered by it, but I'm thinking, like, I could see why the casual fan is like, this game is just taking too long. And I know we don't, Coach, it's not 1978 watching Monday Night Football at 9 p.m. Like, I can't, anyone that's 18 years of age, hearing it for the first time, Monday Night Football, 1978, started at 9 p.m. and it took forever. It could have went to midnight. That's not going to work in today's world. 8:20 starts for Monday Night Football, 8:20 starts for the Thursday Night Football, and 8:20 starts for the Sunday Night Football. That 40 minutes is a big difference to try to get the game end by 11 o'clock p.m. And that's the thing is, the Monday Night Football game, like one of the things, quickly, because we could just end this soon because we do have a lot of content and still have the one more now, Coach. We This is about the time of the day or time of the night on the what time of the night it is and what time of the day is concerning at the end of the game, not the game clock. Now, here that's what I'm trying to say about speeding up the game is to not let the game go over 3 hours on average, like less than 3 hours, like 2 hours and 50 minutes. So if the game's like, let's. I want to be totally like honest. Okay, now if the game starts at 8:20, let's just throw that out there. Okay, nighttime, Monday Night Football. Game starts at 8:20. 9:20 is 1 hour. 10:20 is 2 hours. I'm talking 2 hours plus 20 minutes of the pregame. Okay, that's 3 hours. It's been someone that tunes in at 8 o'clock expecting to watch football. They're already 3 hours invested into it. It's not a very close game. It's 3 hours into this game already. That's 10:20 p.m. And for whatever known unknown reason, this game that's really not going anywhere ends at 11:10. That's what we're trying to avoid with all these suggestions. Is like that those kind of scenarios. They don't jive with people that have like lives other than me, like the NFL football. I don't mind, but I watch, Coach. I like watching. Well, Coach, I like watching the. What I'm saying. Oh, it is starting to get really dark out there. I'm gonna give you another light, studio light here. Coach is like, we're almost gonna wrap this up. I know, but I'm such a perfectionist. Ooh, I'm gonna put a brown. That's red. That's Is that brown? Okay, brown. Alrighty, brown gave you some color too. Yes. Okay. Put the brown. Is it the brown light on? Yeah, it's supposed to be brown. Okay. Oh, you can see where it says NFL rules. Hey, highlight that. Okay. Alrighty, I like it. Okay. I didn't want to add white. It didn't be too much, so I just put it on the brown. Okay, so, well, Coach, I'm going to get to the last one to wrap this up, and that's the kickoffs. Now, we did a whole episode on kickoffs. Like, like, Coach is still like, I don't know, he's kind of still. He's still ranting and raving. Like, I don't know. Like about the last episode where it's like getting rid of the kickoff. He still does not want to get rid of the kickoff. You'd have to watch anyone out there you'd have to watch the whole episode to understand what my points were. For that one. But we're not going to go into that kind of kickoff because this one is a different suggestion, and it comes with the CFL rules. Now, I didn't look it up, but I just noticed that, when they first implemented it, it took me a while to figure it out. I didn't even realize it, but the CFL has where if a team kicks a field goal and it's successful, and it's not, before the less, like I say, more than 5 minutes time remaining in the first half, or more than 5 minutes time remaining in the second half, they don't kick off. They go to commercial break, and then when you come back, the ball is on the 40 because it's CFL. The ball, I should say, it shouldn't be on the 40, but it is hard to make a first down, so if they have to punt, it's a long field, so they start with the 40. Okay, so the ball, it comes back, the ball is on the 40-yard line. I mean, like, wow, that shaves a lot of game. That shaves a lot of time, as in the talking like the real world time, coach. The one that people aren't like us, where we're fixated in watching the game. We it doesn't bother us what time it is. We the clock, like your time of day or your time of the night. We're not bothered by it. But coach, we have to accommodate the fans that are casual, or they just can't stay to the end because it's like no point. This game, it's like it looks like it's not going anywhere. So they're not investing time after 11 p.m. They're like, forget it. You know what I mean? So that's what we're trying to avoid, coach. We're trying to get the game at least to finish by 10:50 p.m. and an 8:20 start. That's the goal. Or well, we could. Okay, I know. I was gonna put this. I forgot to put this in the script about the other one where. Okay, the field. Don't forget, coach. I gotta mention this. I gotta mention this one also. Is that when there's 5 minutes under 5 minutes time remaining in the first half, and under 5 minutes time remaining in the second half, a field goal, a successful field goal, will have to resort to a kickoff. So they do kickoffs only when there's 5 minutes time remaining in the first half, 5 minutes less than 5 minutes time remaining in the second half. And I think that rule is perfect to speed up the game, but not. But we could get into like that's the whole point we can get into is like, coach, why does a team have to kick the ball off and worry about getting a run back when they only scored 3 points? I mean, like, that's what I always think now. It's like, yeah, why is a team? And it's not a. It's a proposal for the kickoff to just decrease the number of kickoffs to speed up the time the game, to speed it up. And what was the last one? This one's the most one where, coach, I hope. Okay, please. There's only a few minutes left, coach. Please don't walk off the set on this one. The NFL maybe to try in the regular season and see how it looks. See how it feels. It looks is 13-minute quarters. That's 2 minutes shaved off per quarter. 2, 4, 6, 8 minutes. 8 minutes off the game time. Now, in the playoffs and the Super Bowl, we put it back to 15 minutes. But for the regular season, up until the playoffs, it's 13-minute quarters. That shaves a lot of time. So that shaves a lot of time off. That will make games that start at 8:20 p.m. finish by 10:30, 10:45. And then 10:50 would be your last, like, it could be a very close game, coach. And if you have a really good, exciting, close game, and it ends at 10:35 p.m., you're going to see that people will be staying with it the whole time. And the people like me will be like, wow, that was fun. That was exciting. And we're, there's going to be, of course, coach, we do our Monday night and Thursday night post game and pre and post game. See, like we even have, like, our life, we're even doing post games because, we can't get enough of the football. Because we know it comes to the point where it's like now, off season, we're just waiting for. The only thing we like about summer these days when we get old, because how it seems to be getting warmer every year. Like it's like 30 degrees has become common now, and I don't even go outside. It's just I'd rather stay inside. It's air conditioned. I don't want to go out there anymore. I'd rather stay in the air conditioning. I used to love being outside, but not anymore. Not like I used to be. As you get older, it's kind of weird how you don't want to be outside when you get older because you don't have air conditioning. It's brutal. I'm talking the really extremely warm days. Now, the only thing we're looking forward to is the word summer nowadays. Is just I like spring weather actually, spring and fall. I don't mind spring and fall weather these days, but it's just that it's getting closer to the August, which gives us the Hall of Fame game, and we're all like, okay, now we're like, okay, we're moving into the NFL season, So, uh, I know it's some crazy ideas, so here and there, but 13-minute quarters, I don't know. I think it's worth a try in the preseason, coach. Like I'm not suggesting it for the regular season. No, try it in the preseason. And if they start, wow, they see all these games being played with the 13-minute quarters, and like, wow, the TV networks are going like this. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh my gosh, because they're, I mean, can you lose more commercial time? That's a possibility, but it's better to have people glued to the television set when it's like 10:30 and they're still glued to the television set watching, and then it could be the commercial coming on. Versus, well, they're not there because you know what? They're feeling that the game might end at 11:10. You got your more commercials, but you don't got the same eyeballs watching them. So it's a give and take situation for everything when it comes. I'm of course, coach. I'm off script here, totally off script, or else we'd never be able to get some of these shows done if I don't go off script. And it'd be like I said earlier, we don't have a staff to. I'm well aware, coach, nowadays that you really to have a really good YouTube channel, people like to hear someone talking from a script because that way it's more concise. It's short. It's 51 minutes long, and coach is like, yeah, you don't have to worry about not having enough time for this one. Yeah, I have enough to. I think I've covered a lot of bases. A couple of proposals here and there. I think I stated my case, coach. And I think that coach is generally saying, well, okay, fine, it was worth a podcast topic. And, that's all I wanted to do is just bring up a nice podcast topic. And once again, coach, didn't want you to be prepared. Like, I'm going to try another one too, because eventually, coach, we're not going to need to do this. It's all depending on the topic, coach. Some of the topics, it's more fun if we just don't tell you what it is. So you just come on the set and have that nice stern look you have, and going, okay, or right now you're like, nah, okay, I'll think all this over. I'll watch it with you and think, yeah, because, coach knows I end up watching my videos over. And I go into my channel. I go into manage videos, and either hit the videos or live stream, and go on to that, load it up, and it doesn't count as a view. And that's the whole point. If I get 3 views, that's 3 genuine views, not on the live stream. I'm talking regular videos. Every live stream, 1 view doesn't count because it's myself with a monitor monitoring the YouTube channel, making sure I'm still working. But when it comes to videos, all those views are genuine. When it says 8 views and it stays 8 views, that's a genuine 8 views or 9 views or 10, whatever it is. Like, genuinely got those views. And they're not add-ons. Like, I didn't go on someone's device, like where I was now earlier this afternoon. I didn't go on their TV and say, "Hey, put on sports news review." Can I just wanted to run it so I can get a view. Like, come on, that's just childish. You know what I mean? The whole point is that I got it out. I had fun doing this. And that's all it is. Now, I try to be informative. How it's going to reach to NFL, how the most important aspect is the NFL Rules Committee. No idea, coach. No idea. Coach, I know I don't want Coach is, if Coach is going to go to the combine, I'm not sure. Are you going to go to the combine? Not sure. It's on right now. Coach is like, nah, it's kind of late now. I go, yeah, I think it's kind of late now. By the time you get the, Coach and I, we're both, we really can't just be going on planes. Just, it's just everything about going on a plane nowadays is hard. And so, like, but Coach, if Coach might go to the draft, depends. If you go to the draft, we'll just have Sylvester doing the draft. But if you stay, you'll do the draft. But what I'm trying to say is, if Coach goes to the draft and sees, and he's well liked by players and whoever shows up at the draft, and you got your reporters, I know Coach Coyote didn't play in the NFL, but they just love Coach Coyote, and of course you can just say hi to some coaches, and they're all like, "Oh, Coach Coyote," they're all ears, like, "Oh, Coach Coyote would do the," and I don't want Coach Coyote to bring up about these rules. No, no, Coach. It's the thing, Coach. I don't want you to be a representative of SNR. When you go to your events, I don't want you to say, "Hey, why don't you watch Sports News Review? NFL should adopt." I just don't know what kind of reception he'll get, and like, what's going on? Why are you doing? What's going on, Coach? Like, why are you pushing all this all of a sudden? But Coach, if you want to discuss it, that's fine with me. In your own way, how you know how to bring up about how this, change some rules, and speed up the game. Because who's going to be all ears is the managers of NFL teams, and if you have some TV executives, they're all ears too. They're definitely all ears. They like to add commercials, like keep like commercials is what pays, but they realize too that, like, well, it's like defense offense. Rule changes, defense offense. Who's it help really? It should help make it. Just the whole point is making the game exciting, and the whole point is keeping people watching to the end. So with that, Coach, that we were trying to convey here, with all that, for both Coach Coyote and I, this has been Coach Coyote's podcast. For now, we're both saying, that's Coach Coyote and I, we're both saying over and out.